Hi everyone, it's Jason here, local tech experts with another build for you. Haven't got one out for a little while, just haven't really had the parts, or I've been building machines, but multiple of the same one over and over again. So this case I got from a guy up in the northern suburbs of Perth. I'll put a link to it. It's called the First Player FireDancing V7. Didn't really plan to build into this one, but sometimes you just pick up cases just because. But I've test benched all the parts and ready to put it in there. So I'll break down the parts first instead of putting it in the scrolly thing. But I'll break down the parts and everything and get the case on the table and give you guys a closer look at it. All right, thanks guys. All right, so what have we got here, guys? You'll have to forgive my voice. I've got a little bit of cold, so sort of struggling through it. So I've got a 750 watt power supply here, Corsair, a Aorus motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM. It's got a Ryzen 2600 under there, and a 256 gig NVMe SSD under here. This card I just use as a sort of a test bench card, really. So that one can come off actually. I just use that to get it going, but eventually it's going to have this in there. It's a GTX 1660 Ti, I think. Yep, Ti version. So that'll be going in there. I like it when these have the back plates attached because then you can't lose them. But yeah, test benched it all. It's going to also have a 2 terabyte storage drive, mechanical drive. I'm going to try and get away from mechanical drives because I've been playing Starfield recently and it does not like running off a mechanical drive at all. Those load screens are torture. But anyway, I'll get the case out of the box and give you guys a better look at that. Alright, so here's the First Player FireDancing V7 out of the box. The first thing that I noticed taking it out is just how shallow it was. So I measured if a graphics card that I wanted to use would fit in there, and it wouldn't. That's why I had to get the 1660 instead. I'll take this glass panel off. It's just held on with 4 thumb screws, so it's one that you have to be very careful with because it's gonna want to pop off as soon as I get all the screws off, I think. And it is a cheaper case, so this one I believe I got for $75 or $70. It has 4 pre-installed fans in there. I've got to admit that I've already taken this out of the box and had a look at it, so I have some idea of what I'm dealing with here. The glass is quite thin, so be careful not to smash that one. I like to put the screws back on just so I don't lose them. They're nice looking fans. I haven't powered them on or anything, but from what I can see they look okay. Fans are fans, really. It does have those 3 in the front there, but they're quite suffocated by the glass because that is just a flat panel of glass in the front there. You can take it off, I'm not going to bother, but the only real ventilation it's getting is excuse me, is through the tiny gap along the side of the glass. So it's lifted off the front panel a little bit, so it's like half a centimeter all the way around. So it's actually not drawing in that much air from there. PSU shroud. Those cables for the fans I'm going to have to reroute. I don't like having them like this. I'm going to have to bunch them all up and reroute them down to the bottom, I think. So in terms of front I/O, or top I/O in this case, got a power button, some indicator lights, microphone, headphone, 2 USB 2s, reset and LED, and a USB 3 there. Quite standard, but you can really see how short it is from this side. Take this panel off, also just held on by some short thumb screws. Come on, there we go. Put that to the side. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should take that front panel off for building. Probably not. I can probably leave it on there. As you probably noticed, if you've watched any of my other videos, build videos, I tend to move the case around quite a bit to get access to everything. I'm sort of always flipping it back and forward. So two 2.5-inch SSD mounts there, and the standard 3.5 in the bottom, which is removable, so you can take that one out. Yeah, so I'll be using that for a mechanical drive, but I'm just looking at this power supply length here. If you've got a long power supply, I think you're going to have issues with this one. Looking at the fans, so I can see there's a LED button on the top, but these fans, there's no controller for them. So they're all daisy chained together, but there's no RGB control on them that I can see. So that'll flesh out during the build, but as far as I can see, they're just plug and play, 3-pin, straight, probably cycling colors, or maybe even a static color. We'll see. That might be where the FireDancing comes in. So not too sure on the naming there. It might be because of they just flash red or something. I'm not too sure, but that's the fun of building. You never know what you're going to get. So in terms of other fan mounts, you've got those 3 in the front there. You can have 2 in the bottom, and that looks like a 240 in the top as well, so 2 more in the top. But because there's not much coming in through the front, there's not much point drawing in from the bottom, really. Some exhaust in the top could be okay, I suppose, but we'll see how we go. The 1660 is not too hot, so I think it should be okay. I'll get this into overhead and start building and show you guys what it looks like in the end. Thanks. So this is how it turned out, guys. Definitely has the looks. Because of the shortness of it, obviously short graphics cards, but also there's a bit of stuffing of the cables down the bottom there that you have to do. Apart from that, airflow's not as bad as I thought it would be. Ran some benchmarks on it, and both with the side off and the side on, and not too much difference actually. Turned out okay. This one's going to go to someone that's going to be happy with it, I'm sure. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya!